Come on, baby. Oh, goodness. Heavenly Father, we come this morning just thanking you, Father, for all your grace and all your mercy. Father, thank you for allowing each and every one of us to get up this morning, closing our right mind. We thank you, Father. We lift you. We ask that you will put a special blessing upon Reverend Smith while he's away on vacation for some much due rest time. Touch every person that's on this panel. Touch every person that may enter your house today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Good morning, and welcome to the Rowlett Friendship Baptist Church. Church for real. We had phone issues this morning. But good morning and welcome back to our show once again. We have Deacon Robinson back this morning sitting in for the vacation in Reverend Anton Smith. Good morning, Deacon Robinson. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing good. Hope Reverend Smith is enjoying himself wherever he is. I am doing pretty good myself. Thank you guys for having me again.
Good. Knowing Reverend Smith like I know him, he's somewhere working.
He probably is. Either he's somewhere working now or he worked somewhere all night last night.
Yeah, he ain't just sat down to rest. Well, Pastor, good morning. How are you this morning?
Good morning. You almost called him Reverend Robinson again.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's like the third time. I'm not saying
let me
that.
go ahead and announce this. No,
Wow.
Look. Your wife is in the audience.
Yeah. Her eyebrow raised kind of a little bit this morning. Okay, Pastor, you doing okay?
I'm doing good this morning. Looking forward to the podcast this morning. Looking forward to this day. Somebody that's very dear to my heart is getting baptized today, and so I woke up excited this morning. I was very excited, and so anyway, I Robinson and them say I get excited about a lot of stuff, so it don't matter.
That's okay. I mean, that's something to be excited about. Yeah. If you're wondering what this is in front of us, that's what Pastor is talking about. We're having a baptismal today. Excuse me. Even in the midst of a pandemic,
Amen.
We have those that would choose to give their life to Christ, and we'll tell you the story about it later on, about this young lady and how she came to this and how we got to this day.
I don't know if we emotionally stable.
I know.
It's already emotional, so we're going to let's say that for a different podcast.
I tried to tell her mom, and I start crying.
So you get a bit emotional for these roughnecks up here. These thugs up here.
It was a beautiful thing, though. It was a beautiful thing. So we're going to get back into our podcast from last week. We're just going to have a week 2 on it, on the evolving mindset. Last week we kind of covered a few things. You want to touch on last week, Rob?
No. I was waiting for you to bring it on out of us.
Bring it on out? Well, bring it on out. Okay, all right. Well, that's the way you're going to do it then. I'm ready. You know I'm ready. All right, we're just going to hit some of the topics that we didn't talk about last week. On the mindset. Okay, so I'm going to start out with this question. Now, this is a touchy question, so just speak freely. Do you think that black people are stuck on this color thing as much or more or less than our white brothers and sisters? Well, I told you it was touchy.
Okay. I'll jump out this way, and y'all feel free to bash Pastor, but I'm going to say probably about the same. We tend to point the finger at our white brothers and sisters, but we are just as much at fault for some of them, because we'll say if a certain family says that don't bring no white girl home with you, or bring no white boy home with you, or marry your own people and all that. And so if you see a brother or sister marry anybody of the other color, we feel some emotional detachment from them. Yeah. And so not even if you want to, if you see a successful black woman and you say, oh, she's married to a white guy, or you see a successful black man, you say, oh, he's married to a white woman, in our own psyche, it does something to us. But then on the flip side, we want to always not always, but there is that definite disconnect with that. And so I know to a point we have that still attachment to it, and so we'll feel a certain way if a certain person walk through the door or look a certain way. We might not say it, but there's that moment of something emotional inside of us that's tied to that.
Yeah,
Rob?
yeah. I think you're right. It's kind of, I think I say it 50-50, but we kind of express it differently.
Yeah.
I think blacks we vocalize it a lot more than white people, and I think a lot of that still comes from white dominance. That white people, I don't want to say white people in general, but there's this whole concept that this is the white man's world. So you start looking at white people don't have to express it as much as we do. It's kind of more internal or within the home. But black folks, we do kind of we look at everything. We kind of judge everything. Even when, and I don't think it's a lot of harm meant by it, but we have just gotten to the point where we really judge everything. Mm-hmm. You come in and you see a person, if they're successful, you do want to know who they're married to. If it's a white person, it's a black person. Now, not that we care. We just want to be able to say,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's it. But if you look in terms of like progressing, man, black people, we accept anybody.
Yeah,
we will have Hispanic friends and white friends, and when we meet a friend, we really think it's a friend. But if you look at the Hispanic culture, they really just kind of all the other cultures, they really just kind of stay within themselves, and so I think we're a little bit further out there, just because our mentality.
And I agree with that. We're a little bit further out there because it seems that we have the tendency to, like you were saying, judge.
Yeah.
Or when we see a mixed couple, I've heard this too many times. Or say it's the black woman married to the white man.
Yeah.
The first thing somebody can say, oh well, she wanted to make sure she had good credit.
Yeah.
It's just the stigmatism
Yeah.
that we put on those of us who step outside of our race. And even for those of us who, like you say, somebody roll up in a Bentley, we automatically start trying to.
We want to know who's going to get out of that. Who
Right.
that is that
And then we start classing them.
Yeah.
And don't let it be a black person get out of it.
Yeah.
Then we start wondering what team they play on.
Yeah.
Not
Or
that,
what do they do?
I'm not giving them because they already arrogant or whatever, stuck
Yeah.
up, because we do that anyway. It says, he's that, so therefore he's this way. Because I get this all the time. It says that, man, I didn't know you was that laid back, and you was just like, to be honest, I didn't know you was that person.
Yeah.
Because you expect for a black man in that position to be this way.
Yeah.
And so it's already, we stuck on that idea. And I would say this, and I was thinking about that, y'all talking about that, it's the other way around. I have walked into, not locally, but I have been in other cities where, because me and Josh, Amarillo, we visit all churches. We didn't care what it is. But if it's a black person in an all-white church, they look at you strange, like, what you doing here?
Yeah.
Now that's a black person to a black person.
Yeah.
And it's not, they don't never say it, because after a while they realize, he's a minister. But that first look is, that look when you look at like,
it says everything.
And so we know that. And so even when it comes to that idea is that when we think about black holding that, we those who have elevated themselves and look at a person a certain way, they do this and they act this way. And I had a conversation with my cousin Eric the other day about a particular person. He said, I don't know. I said, Eric, that person works as a high-level person at American Airlines. Mm-hmm. So the change was he got in that atmosphere and he started feeling his own self, and so he acts this way. And so he was like, you know what? I didn't think about that way. I didn't think about this. But we do that, and we do it in reverse also. We were talking about how blacks view white and interracial relationships, but even to those who have kind of arrived, they look at themselves different. Not all of them. It's a small percentage that look at. You got people like LeBron James who I just love what he has done, because he didn't get high and forget about where he came from. He actually went back and started schools, and he gives so much money to back where he grew up from in just a neighborhood. If more blacks would do that, and elevate themselves that way.
Yeah.
I mean, how much more? Because I know you asked one question about how we feel, but how much do we give back?
Yeah.
And it don't have to be a lot.
But blacks are still trying to figure out where they fit in at, though.
I think so.
Because I have a lot of white friends, and then I got Hispanic friends. But every time we go there, we are the only black couple there. You know what I mean, my wife and I, it's like we're the only black friends. You know,
Yeah.
they
I've
keep
been there,
they keep
been there,
quota.
been there.
And I'm starting to think one black couple is under quota. You really need to. You know what I mean? We need to jump that up.
We need somebody to talk to too, though.
We need to, because then, man, it's a trip, because if you do see another black guy walk in, he's usually with, a white woman or something.
Yeah, it's a
and
mixed
then, man, he got the whole Carlton effect going.
Yeah.
With all
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, man, I can't talk to dude.
I can't get with him.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
But blacks are still trying to figure out where they fit in. I mean, I don't say blacks. I'm gonna say the average black American is, in my opinion, is still trying to figure out where they fit in. In the workplace, trying really hard to figure out how to get ahead, and getting ahead doesn't mean following your black culture in there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then when you have to get in a certain society to acquire certain things, and then once you do that, man, it just takes a toll on your life and takes you to a completely different place in a lot of cases.
Yeah, no,
You know what I mean?
A few weeks ago, probably sometime in September, October, George was on a national call with women of color, just women of color, and it was a national call, and her point was the plight of the not the black women, just all women of color in the executive field. And so Joyce, she dug into a lot of research on this before she did it, but they all feel that. It's the pressure of you trying to fit in, but also keeping your culture perspective, keeping who you are, not turning one way or the other, but bringing it on, but not necessarily going full-fledged one way or the other.
Yeah.
And that takes a mental toll on you. And she spent the whole 45 minutes, hour, and the women were saying, it's not only just being the only woman of color in certain executive and leadership roles, but it's also the pressure of being that only person with people looking at you and figuring out how to so that balancing act of where we fit in is always a struggle, not just for men, but also for women. And so that is a struggle. And like I said, walking in and being the only one is crazy. But we are. I would say this. I look at it from a government standpoint because I work for the government. When I first started in finance 20 years ago, we would go to a conference, and man, as far as CFOs, I was it, and I'm at the biggest one. That was maybe 15, 16 years ago. Last couple of times I walk in and, man, I'm seeing the CFO of Miami is a brother. The CFO in Washington, D.C. is a sister. And so we started to see that in that conference where it used to be 80% white. Man, now it's 40% black. It's like, okay, now, and then when people of color made up about 50% of the room. And so you're right. As we start to figure this out, culturally, you said something. I think you said something. We were talking on the telephone one time that culturally they accept who we are.
Yeah.
But everything else they don't. I mean, they love our songs, our music, and all that, but we haven't been accepted. And so as we start to learn our roles and the power that we have in the culture, it becomes a strange thing. And I'll bring it back to the church. We got to this point of a black church, a white church, and a Hispanic church, and an Asian church. It is the church. And because we are so segregated in that situation, is that it's crazy that we can't cross over or they can't cross over. And so that's a struggle. Even, I know if the struggle is in Rowlett, our little small town of Rowlett, it's a struggle nationwide that it's hard to do.
I don't know how you'll see that in this lifetime. I mean, it's the idea.
I don't know how, because as long, whatever that pastor is, it's what they call that church, if it's a Hispanic pastor, I don't care if he don't have one Hispanic in the congregation, it's a Hispanic church. I don't know how we got to that, but that's just where we are.
Because cultural differences. And you know what? That's fair. I'm fine with that. Because there are some things that take place in certain places that I don't necessarily, I ain't going to say want to be a part of it. I could be a part of it, but I wouldn't want to do it every week.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like when you and that's the part you got to look at, because that's in your DNA at this point. When you go back to well within the past, it was so, you got to understand, this has just been embedded in our minds for centuries. You know what I mean? The separation. You know, you have to develop all your own things, your own food, your own culture, your own way of life. And you have that type of separation, and it's been embedded in you, and you grow up like that, and you grow up like that. And so now it's a bunch of, I don't think it was meant to be, I'm saying at this point, I don't think it's really a negative separation. I just think at this point it's a way of life. I think the beauty is when we can come together.
How we
Right, and we host certain events where everybody get on the same page, or everybody, you know, all of these churches and Christians get together and they do their own little thing, and then we have a night of worship, and then we go back to our respective churches and all that kind of stuff. I think that's cool. I don't think that when you start trying to merge all of this stuff, can you imagine? Sometimes when we've done, you know, how we'll pack up and we'll go to a different church and we'll have service with them. You know, they do some things differently than we do. We do some things differently than they do. They don't want to see what we do every week. And frankly, we don't want to see what they do every week. If we be honest, you know,
in all honesty, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know,
but that's based upon, and I'm reading this book called Desiring the Kingdom, and it talks about, you know, worship, worldview, and cultural formations. And the part that says that just like you brush your teeth, you've been taught to brush your teeth a certain way all your life.
Yeah.
You know, some people say, well, I wet my toothbrush before I put my toothpaste on. I wet it on after it. But we have those different, that we have just been in practice. It's always about this practice. What you do all the time is what you're accustomed to doing. If you fry your chicken on top of the stove or you fry it in the oven, depends on who you are, that's what you've always done.
Right.
And because we have those practices, it's hard to then go a different way because you're in that practice. And so you're right. A lot of that is that way. But my whole saying is this. There are some churches who are alike in how they worship, whether they're black, white, Hispanic, or Asian. It's those pieces that I think that I just hate for you walking in the church and say, well, this is an all black church, I can't join this church. Or I walk in the church and say, this is a white church, I can't join this church because of the white church. So those are the things I more like say, but because you are used to hearing your music the way you like. I like to listen to R&B and country. Yeah. If I look at my playlist, you'd be like, you know, you'd be R&B.
There's a lot of country music I listen to.
It's a country. So and some people is like, oh man, I put on Tupac or whoever. So some people just roll that way. Yeah. It has nothing to do with because I know some black guys who are country than the country person I know.
Yeah. But I think you could go whichever direction you think. But I think you got to blame all this on God. He did this. I mean, just think about it. Wow. He the one switched up all these languages. You think about it. He made sopranos, tenos, and altos, sopranos, altos, and tenors. So I think he enjoys the melody. I think he enjoys the difference.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think
he wanted the difference.
Exactly.
You know,
I think he enjoys it.
We tainted it.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I think when you start, you got to be. We should be a little bit more mindful when we start talking about unity. That unity does not mean we got to be under the same roof.
Yes, correct.
The roof is the kingdom.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
This is just the building. This is just a temple. But the roof is the kingdom. So we all have the same mindset that we know who God is. We all have the same mindset that we worship in the same God. Then that's the unity. The joyful noise that we make doesn't have to be the same.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because can you imagine if everybody in here sounded like Pastor when he sang? That's the best that we had.
Oh my God!
You know what?
Oh my God! I got a flashback on that.
I want Robinson to sing a tune right now.
Rob.
He always told how bad I sing.
What's this?
Sister Robinson started laughing when I said that. Go ahead and hold a tune right quick, Rob. Let's sing a melody.
I'm going to tell you how you tell the people at work. Do what you do best.
Okay. I want to throw a monkey wrench in this. All right. Now, I want y'all to think about this now. Because this is
ain't no time up, so I don't know if you...
There it is, right there.
I
got it for Edison, right?
This is going to go through the break, I'm telling you already. Okay, all right. How do you feel and why when you see a good-looking black woman in a interracial marriage or
relationship?
Yeah.
I love it.
Hold up. I got it.
I married a white woman.
Look, I'm going to say this.
Y'all tongue-tied now. Come on.
Now, Sister Smith over here taking for...
I was looking at Sister Smith.
Her baby brother, so that's okay. I'm going to leave you alone because Sister Smith is my friend. So,
she will get on the plane and come down here and handle stuff.
I know. I already seen her talk about her. But anyway, I'm sorry. You go ahead, Edison.
How do you feel and why?
To me, I've come to the point where I can honestly say years ago it bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
Now it does not, because it does not. I can't say there's a 1% of me just but you can't choose who you love.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I wish you can say that, who you choose to love is this and that, but if y'all connect, and it's a Hispanic woman and a black man, or it's a white woman and a black man, or you can't undo that.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I leave it alone. I says that, you know what, and maybe that's what they were looking for. You can't dictate. Okay, let me put it this way: what I love may not be what you love.
Right.
Elijah, for some reason, loves pie more than cake. I love cake more than pie.
Right.
So what I do, I just make sure I have a pie there when he's there, and we have cake. So I can't make him not like pie. So if a person likes, I like Joyce. Joyce has all the dimensions that I love. All the dimensions I love.
Boy, trying to get them points in.
Yeah.
What is she not even watching?
Oh, she better
she
be
on.
watching. She better be watching. But Robinson chose his wife because that's
right.
all.
Yeah.
And so, and why do we do that? Because from early on, we formed our own ideal what that looks like for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't get mad if you're a black man who says, man, those Hispanics I just something about them and that's who you marry. I can't get mad at you, man. You had a black mama, you had a black dad, and all your black aunts, and you took home a Hispanic person. That's just can't tell you how you love and don't love.
But you see, how crazy that is, though, is first off, I love it because I've always said that that's the cure to racism,
Right.
interracial relationships.
Yeah.
Now,
On both ways, both sides.
Both ways. But here's the deal. This is how you start looking at it to say, going back to that unity, where the confusion comes in, and you start questioning people's religion or Christianity, whatever it is. Because here you are, you have to see the beauty in it.
Yes.
And the beauty in it is this. If you ever didn't think that God was working, years ago, you would be hung for even looking at a white woman. Now you have the opportunity to seek whomever you want to, fall in love with whomever you want to, and marry whomever you want to, regardless of the color. If you have the mindset that you are trying to see what God is doing or what he has done over time, you could look at this very instance and see power in change, that things are happening. And so it's confusing to me when I listen and I hear folk who are supposed to be Christians and have an issue with interracial relationships, interracial marriages, and then be ready to go to church and praise and worship and all that. You got so many people that are missing the mark spiritually that they are bypassing God's wonders because they're so caught up in what they think about what they see and trying to judge folk.
Right.
But the Bible gives us all of this already.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So if we really channeled in on our mindset and again got under that roof instead of this roof or this roof, you will see it as a thing of beauty.
I'll pick up on that after.
Yeah. We're gonna catch a break here. Y'all gonna be very interested in what I got to say about that.
I know, y'all.
But I just mean who I am. But we'll be back in just a few minutes. Give us 2 and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
All right.
If you know of anyone that might need help, please ask them to complete the form on our website on Friday by 7 p.m. Donations to help the less fortunate. If you have clothes you would like to donate, there is a clothing bin in the ministry box. Once you give a blessing to the no toys are accepted. Great nonprofits. If Rowlett Friendship has been a blessing to you, share your story at greatnonprofits.org/Rowlett Friendship-Baptist-Church to help us attain our Gold Star rating. Join us for our interactive Bible study every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on YouTube. Tune in for a great discussion. Don't forget, online giving is available for tithe and offering using debit, credit, or e-check. Go to www.rowlettfriendship.com under Give. Thank you so much for listening in this far. We love that you are here with us at Church for Real. Do us a solid and tap the thumbs up button on wherever you're getting this feed from. And please subscribe so you don't fall behind on the weekly content we'll be delivering from right here at Rowlett Friendship Baptist Church.
Oh my God. See, that's she really white.
Oh. She's just hard to date. Oh. Black men. Oh my goodness. Oh. I'm good.
I guess we are back.
Are we back? Oh, okie dokie.
Well, let me
Let's go to show you how into the set we are.
Look again. We go back there so y'all. We had a comment online.
Oh my God.
From Mimi, and so she says, "It's honestly sometimes hard to. You guys can read the comments, but it's honestly to hire date a black person when you want to do scuba diving and skiing, and so so she says, I hear you, brother.
So having a hard enough time coming over the water.
So she's right. You know, I don't want to go skiing because it's too cold. I'll break my leg, and scuba diving, too much water to breathe in. So I'll go snorkeling with you, but I ain't going scuba diving. We had a chance to do that this last year in Jamaica. And so you want to go scuba diving? I said no. It's free. You can get your license for free, and we'll train you and all that. Then they say go nighttime. No, that's okay. No,
yeah, look, like setup.
I'm good. I'm
not
good.
Going down like that.
I want
like this.
Yeah.
I mean,
so now she's right. There are some people who just don't do that, and so we were having that conversation about her brother made a comment.
So she insinuated that only white men like to scuba dive?
I think that's what she insinuated. Now, I ain't
all I said, I heard it. She said, "I hear you, brother." So she heard what you said. So I was trying.
I think she was saying she was talking to
I was trying to
clean
clean up for you. So before Edison asked his question, he was asking for the break. I was going to say something about what Robinson was saying. Is that church folk got it bad by trying to do that. Just says that, ooh, they married this person or that person. We had a couple that came and visited us at the storefront. It was a black male and a white female, and they had 2 kids, and they went to the church and had been going to church for a few weeks, and then one of the white deacons told her that she might ought to want to find a different church.
Wow.
And so that broke my heart. And they came to church one time, but I think that's a hurt that it was hard for them to get over.
Yeah.
And because they were going to that church, and the black guy was like, I'm okay with it. It's not something new, but for her to have that happen to church. And that's why I was saying that when you look at Revelation, when John says, I looked out at the multitude, there were people of all tongues, all nationalities, and if God can put it together as a group, why do we get irritated on an individual basis? And so that shouldn't be a thought that regardless of, I'm going to say this, y'all can laugh at this, there's more poor black men and black women who marry white it ain't just it's amazing.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
But they don't care about that part. They don't care
about
that.
No, let me get it out because you're right. Now they'll see a person who making $300,000 married to an opposite color, and they say, "Ooh," but there are more living in the projects, in mobile homes, and all that. Black people and white people marrying each other. Oh, we can just glance by that because you can go to any grocery store, in any Walmart, any Target. You're gonna go in there, at least you're gonna see one time a black and white interracial or interracial. And you don't have nothing about it. You look at the kids, they got, that's some pretty kids. That. It don't even flash your mind. But
let TMZ come through.
No. You think they live in the projects, and all of a sudden you find out they live, they were just cool. Y'all live there, and you married, so you hot there.
Let me do it.
Couldn't find nobody else.
They go right back to that.
That's the piece I wanted to get out there, is that the church is more critical of some of that stuff, and that's black and white, Hispanic.
Oh yeah,
that's
I don't
across
think it's
all
color-coded
groups.
on that one. That's just folks.
Because I heard this Hispanic Catholic say, "Oh, I'm just so glad she didn't marry a black guy." Huh? And you sat there in front of me? Anyway, I'll just leave that alone.
Anyway, the question that we are addressing at the time is this is basically for the black men. If you saw an interracial couple and the woman was an attractive black woman with married to another race, how would we feel and why? Okay, my turn. My turn. Okay, I'm gonna be honest.
I know what you're gonna say. 'cause I
And it's
already
not
know
by and the thing is that I'm not even stable in my answer because I don't know why I feel like this. I just do. Okay, it's if I see a black woman with a white man, it bothers me more than if I see a white woman with a black man. Now, if the woman is black and she is attractive in my sight, it bothers me even more.
I already know this.
I'm listening. I'm waiting to see how this is going to end.
Ain't no rhyme and reason to it now.
We had this conversation about 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
Yes.
Lord. Wait a minute. So that's just it?
No,
With Kamala.
Yeah.
Because you was like.
I had to say it. I had to say it.
You say
She ain't hot.
No, I mean, but she ain't an ugly woman.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and with Tamala, I was looking at it from the point of view, man, that's a box we could have had checked off. If she, okay, it's me. Pray for me, because that's just me. I don't know what it is, and I don't know why, but I know that I would never be able to date, marry, or anything outside of my race. That's just me.
Dang.
I wouldn't be able to do it. I'm not critical against them.
Yeah.
I know that they love each other. I know that I can't control who you love. I understand all of that, and I understand that good black men is at a shortage. I understand that. I get that. But for some reason, when I see a black woman with a white man, it just ooh.
Because
But when you see a black man with a white woman, that doesn't really
It's
bother
not. It bothers me. It just doesn't bother me as bad as I don't know. It's black women. I hold them in high esteem.
But you didn't go get you no black woman. You got the lightest black woman you could find.
She got that drop.
She,
And I'm telling you, it don't. I told you in the beginning, it wasn't gonna make no sense. Because my wife, she's so light that her friends call her a light.
Yeah.
light bright.
he went and got the closest thing he would, so they wouldn't call him a
All
sellout.
I'm saying is, that's just the way I feel. Did you ask me?
I understand.
One
No, I
question on
understand.
how I feel.
But watch this. And this is, I'm telling you guys, I'm gonna be better off this next year because I always look at this. Culturally, you were raised in Mississippi.
Yes.
And you was raised around a lot of strong black women.
Yes.
So you hold them in high regard because of their nurturing value they
Yes.
have in your life. So
Yes.
you put them, of all people, you put them on a high pedestal. So therefore, you said that because they're on a high pedestal, me being a black man, I want to be able to see them always with a black man because those two together is because I'm thinking from my standpoint. So your view of that is always that because of my nurturing background and what I had to see, what I saw them go through in Mississippi all of my life, so I'm giving them a peg above everybody else.
Right.
So how you view, this is what we call our worldview. So how you view the world through your Christian sight is still based upon a worldview.
Yeah.
And so therefore you're passionate about what they see. And that's the piece why we got to continue to break down. Again, you brush your teeth with your right hand because you have already done it. What if you up there always told you to brush your teeth with your left hand, even though you're right-handed, and you started when you was 2 doing that, and all your life you couldn't explain, I just do it.
Yeah.
Some stuff we just do, and we don't even know why you put your right foot through your pants, not your left foot, because this is what I've always done. So culturally, we have so much stuff in our head that we've always done that we cannot just think our way out of it. We got to be able to build ourselves with that, know it's there, and continue to work on it. Says that when I see a black woman and a white man, I'm telling myself, don't overreact. And you keep doing it.
But I think this is just another episode of black people wanting change without being a part of the change. I mean, that's the whole thing. If you're looking at Kamala and trying to see who she married to when a white man pops out, oh, you're mad. How you want all of this change, but don't want to be a part of actual changing? Like that is a big deal. You got a lot of black folks who are complaining about a lot of stuff that they want to be different without them participating and being part of the difference.
What you just said, participation means what? Practice. Practice means like I put forth the effort.
Right.
You can't be good unless you practice.
Right.
I'm using
Right.
LeBron again.
At anything.
I'm going to use LeBron again. LeBron didn't get to where he was just because he had the
Right.
physical physique and all that. He had to put what he had physically out to work all the time. You'll tell him now. He says, "I'm older now. I'm working even more." Why? Because in order to participate, he has to practice. So what we want to do, we want to be able to have the change without us putting any effort into it.
Yeah.
And by not putting any effort in it, we only want it our way.
Yeah.
And if we only want it our way, we don't participate, and we get mad that it doesn't line up like we want to line up.
Yeah.
But the moment you start interacting with other people, I'll give you an example. We didn't know how to act around other people until we started being around other people.
Right, right.
And that's why I tell, a child who's never been in school, that's always been at home, when they go to school for the first time, man, you always up there because they don't know how to act because it's always been them. But over a period of time, they start to adjust and adjust. Why? Because they'll continue being a part of that. And that again, what does the black person stand in society? We don't know until we put ourselves out there. And a lot of times, that's a scary thing, putting ourselves out there. Because, if I go out there and they don't like me, or I have to fight, I have to do all this stuff, you have all these reservations why you don't put yourself out there. And I'm not making no excuses, but until they do that, none of us can be successful until what? We took the plunge. And we do that. You say, oh, man, this is not hard. I read something, me and Josh said something, it says, it's difficult until you start doing it.
Yeah.
And once you do it, it don't become easy until after you've
Done it for a while.
I just think that the world is so deadly because you have that thought process of you really don't know who you sitting beside, who you in front of,
And that
who
don't
you
make no
letting in
difference
your
what color
house.
they are.
Like if you have a person with the mindset that, man, I don't want this or that, white folks, black folks, yada yada, but you interact with those folks every single day. The thought process in the back of that person's mind, whether they want to admit it or not, is they don't like you or your kind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is who you are fellowshipping with. Even when it's a person of your own race who have certain opinions, you know what I mean? Dang, you have to really, and there's no way you can just kind of dive into another person's mind and see what they think unless they voice their opinion. Now, and I'm just using you for example, Edison is saying to deal with the interracial marriage. But he got a lot of white customers, you know what I mean, that he goes
Depend
and
on
do.
them.
And you know what I mean? Dang, but they got this dude in their house who really just don't like white folk.
It's
know what I mean?
not
Like-
that I don't like white people. I don't agree, or I haven't gotten comfortable with. I'll say it like that. I haven't gotten comfortable with.
But it's over with
White
now.
men.
You on the other
And-
side of life, so you ain't got it by now. You ain't got
If I ain't got it right now, it's a downhill ballet.
and but isn't that the corrupted part of it though?
Yeah,
Yes,
Like,
yes, it is. I know it is.
I'm not
If
just
you-
using an example, but
no,
I'm saying there's
but-
so many other people
Yeah,
like you. You're not by
okay.
yourself.
Oh, no.
So if someone was sitting here telling you and says, and this guy is an Asian guy.
Okay.
He's still telling you, man, I don't want my daughter to marry no black man.
Mm-hmm.
How would that make you feel when he's talking to a black man?
Well, I'm used to that. So
I mean, how would your conversation be with that person? Would you try to talk with, man, you can't stop them from loving who they want to love?
No, Edison just told you we're gonna say, man, I feel you because I don't want my daughter to marry. We can be friends.
yeah, we can be friends. I know where you're coming from.
If more people thought like us.
Oh man,
if more people thought that way, we'll be at fighting. I mean,
We'll be fighting all the time. I understand.
It's back to Robinson's thought. We can't expect the world to change if we're not willing to change.
Right.
Because we are always in front of people, and I know I deal with some people. It is amazing that I know this one person. I really haven't interacted with them a lot the last couple of years, but this year alone, I've interacted more with that person this year than anything before because we sat down and have a conversation about something, and he realized, man, you can do more for me than I thought you ever could. And now does that mean he like me now? No, he just likes the position I'm in to do that. Does he still dislike black people? Probably so, but he says, well, this black person, this black person, he know what he's doing, so I'm gonna just lean out more than him. But the idea that the door is open now, that the door is open that he can say, well, I can't judge all black people the same because now this person actually, I can now black people mean more than they did say a year ago because I interact with this person and I had to have a conversation with him. And so the more we had those conversations, to be a part of the change, I could have been mad at like, man, I ain't talking to you, man, because you ain't did. No, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna be the lead that says that all black people, the stereotype you have in your head, is not all black people are running around the jungle throwing spears at lions.
wow.
No, I'm just saying because some people still have this stereotype of what, even though they
Oh,
see
right,
black people
right.
successful, they still have a stereotype that, well, y'all from Africa, y'all
Right.
dumb, y'all this and that.
Just like people think Texas is all cows. And,
Yeah.
I got you.
And regardless of they see
think that
anything
because
else,
they don't know no better.
Right.
Yeah, right. Because regardless of what you see and you can rationalize with, what's built in their head is still Texas is full of. Man, I didn't know y'all had cities like Dallas and Austin and Houston.
Yeah. And I've actually heard people say that.
Yeah.
But you see it you see it, but in your mind because you have
Yeah.
realized what you've been
Because you
shown.
brought up with J.R. Ewing, and that's
Yes, and that's
it.
what you see. And so regardless of what you can actually rationale with, it's still part of your whole psyche. That's where you are right now. So our job is so the next year to try to get you
y'all got to help me.
get you closer
I'm
to.
just telling you, y'all got to help me. Okay, last question. This one should take us out. Do you think that we as black people encourage or teach hate of ourselves, of black people, than other races?
Say it again.
Do you think that we as black people encourage hate and prejudice more than other races do toward us?
Well, I would say I heard something, and Elijah had a point, and I'll get to that point in a minute. But I've heard this says that somebody was going to go to South Dallas to get something done, and a black person said, "Ooh, I wouldn't go down there."
Yeah.
So to me, you putting a stigma even in that the white person was going to go anyway, but because you said as a black person that you wouldn't go down there, you're putting the fear of something is wrong going down there. That, oh man, there's some places in South Dallas I just wouldn't go. I wouldn't do all this. Even if that's so, you feed into the stereotype that why should I trust black people when black people don't trust black people?
I like that. Because some of that is just facts.
It's just facts.
Some
Yeah.
places you do have to just be smart enough to say, if this ain't your thing, you don't know nothing about that area, stay away from it.
But this person,
You know,
this person realized all of South Dallas, and that person was going. Now there's some parts of South Dallas that take a brother with you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I know that, but the idea that the place this person was going wasn't.
What part was
But
that?
they don't know. But yeah, I was gonna say they don't know. Okay.
What part was that? On what map? Let me see.
Let's put that one down so I know I'm saving that side.
But you know what? I think more so. You said, do they encourage hatred?
and prejudice.
I think more poverty living black folk do. People who are struggling and on the edge do. I think when you have people with money, they are more susceptible to interracial everything because that's who they do business with on so many levels.
Right.
But when you got folk who are, kind of struggling or just getting by, they already got a built-in hatred on the inside for not being able to get a little further or be successful in their own way. And yeah, you got some people like that who just, their mind is going to tell you everything in the book against doing this with this type of folk because they mad.
Well, why is it, I get what you're saying. So why is it that I can listen to a black rap song that's degrading my women, period, doesn't matter what color they are, degrading women, you throwing the N-word all around. Me and you can sing this song together, but let a white guy walk up and get in the song.
That's just ignorance.
Yeah.
That's all that is. That's just ignorance.
But again, it's like you said, it's that built up. If I'm struggling, if I'm, and matter of fact, I just went to Freeport this last week, and I saw that if I'm struggling, I am more angry about what's going on in the white side of town or this side of town. Even and so I don't try to kind of, and I guess I try to more encourage than because you have to encourage and say, man, you got to overcome that. You got, that's true, it's out there because. For us to say that racism does not exist or based upon my status in society is different. So yes, the lower you down on the totem pole, the more difficult it is. Even going in and talking to a bank or talking to something, they already see you coming. So to say that doesn't exist is crazy because we always tell people, oh, you need to overcoming ain't easy as you saying it because you forgot the struggle because you made it. You at a point, and I always tell people all the time, don't become so bougie you forget how you became bougie. Because most bougie folk didn't start bougie. I know there's a lot of bougie for y'all for one day this morning, but you all have to struggle. And so we get mad when we see young people struggling. Just because you arrived, 20 years ago and you forgot, don't. So in other words, you got because that is real that. if you're in the projects trying to get out of the projects to get to your own, government home, that's a difficult transition to go from there. And you want people to say, no, just do it. Dude, how long it took you to do what you got to do? And matter of fact, to be honest, you ain't really happy where you at.
Right.
You walking around fronting on folk like that you got everything together. When you go home, your home messed up just like everybody's home.
Right.
Don't make it sound like because you got money in the bank, everything all right. Y'all just fought before y'all came to church. And so anyway.
Money does not
you're right.
solve the race issue.
No,
It does not solve it.
No.
If anything, it adds to race because those of us that are blessed.
And that again, this is, and I want to, not that I want to bring this back to the church, but the church is so critical of this because you have that line that some people in the church have made, and some people in the church are trying to make it, and some people in the church didn't make it. And so you got those three levels in church, and if we're not careful, the church become the social example of what's going out in America.
Yeah.
And that's how come we
Has
got to
come.
continue to work this thing. This is why I'm comfortable having this conversation for the last 4 weeks about this because, we didn't quote it in scripture, but because this is a conversation that has to be had in church, and especially in the black church because, we got so many large churches, I'm not even going to say mega church, large churches in Dallas that's not touching on this because they don't want to get people upset in the congregation.
Yeah.
Is that the hard conversation is that, we do a bad job
Yeah.
being the advocate for our own people.
I agree.
We do
Yeah.
a bad job reaching back because most of us have arrived in our Mercedes and our BMWs that, we'll front on folk, but we won't go help folk.
Yeah.
And I see it every day. I see just people barely making it, won't reach back to help a person who just started. Shoot, I don't know what's wrong with them. Why they acting that way? You acted that way. I remember how you acted. Now you got, you made an extra $1,000 this year. Now you think you big shots now.
Yeah.
So
'Cause
anyway, that's
some churches. I would, in my opinion, are still struggling to have an identity. You are so across the board doing so many things, involved in so many things, but what is the identity of the church? Meaning, what is the message that you the message, the one message that you're sending out that you're challenging folk to have in their mind and stand steadfast on it? Like this is, you could preach all the way through the Bible and talk about a bunch of stuff, but I think there needs to be one message that is just, it's almost like what do you put when the business always has a motto, a slogan, a mission statement.
mission statement.
There has to be one message. You gotta. I think it's good when you choose something to embed in the minds that will. It's like a snapback for a person when they fall off. You know what I mean? Think about this. As a constant. Like on the CYA, they always end with do unto others as you wanna. There is something, I think, to keep people, to give a person something to reset. There has to be something that identifies what that church is, what are you trying to do, where are you trying to go, what the mission statement is at the end of the day, so that everything can come together under that umbrella, regardless of what it is that you're doing. Because if it's not, you really are just coming in listening for a message, and whatever that message is that day, you take it and then you walk out with it, and an hour later, 2 hours or 4 hours, and the game come on, everything else is out of the window. And then what's your reset? Because it's not easy to go back to the sermon from Sunday when you didn't really even write it down and you didn't really take it in notes.
Didn't
and you
listen
didn't,
to it.
But if the church has a sure identity that says, for all other things, this is what we do, it gives me something to cling on to that says, gosh, I can reset my mind to this and remember, that.
And you know who does a great job of that? People in marketing.
Yeah.
You're an Apple product person because something was done,
Yeah.
and so now you associate with the Apple product. I'm a Samsung product, and so it's something about that. You realize what we are then? We are disciples.
That's good.
Of
That's
those.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And so what the world has done is imitate what the church should be doing.
Yeah.
Right.
And
That's
that
good.
we do so much picking out what's wrong with the church instead of getting back to what the church is all about. And so when it all boils down to it, the church should stand for something.
Yes.
And to be honest, what does the church in America stand for?
That's the question.
You know, when Dick was talking, I was just
regardless
sitting
if you have a bunch of, you can have 100 churches on the same block, but what do they stand for?
Right.
Because
Right.
if they stand for
Right.
all the same thing, it does not matter how many you have.
Right.
It's the reset, and so
Right.
that's something again.
I was sitting there thinking when you was talking, Dick, you know, when you said there has to be a direction, there has to be a mission, there has to be a one common goal. I was just sitting here thinking, I was like, okay, does the church have a direction?
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah,
that's-
but it's not in the direction that we're talking about.
Right.
We are more trying to be conducive to how people feel.
Yeah.
You know, when they come in, we have more churches that are more concerned about filling messages than healing messages.
Yeah.
You know, or we'd rather for them to leave out here feeling, oh yeah, I had a good time today in the church, instead of saying, wow, I got some stuff I need to change. You know.
Sister McKinley just checked us up here with
What'd she say?
She said, you do have a mission. Look up, build in, and reach out.
We want to talk about,
Okay, so we need to say that every week.
we want to talk about this church.
This church, no, we want to know about
Boy,
this church.
Because if he was, I would have picked up on that. I was thinking about.
But thank you for reminding us, Sister McKinley.
that was a good one.
Outstanding.
That
We
was a
like
good
that.
one.
We like that. But fellas, we done run out of time today.
We ran a long time.
Yeah, we ran out of time about 5 minutes ago. We couldn't let this go. But I want to thank y'all for your honesty, and I think Sister Smith said it best. Good topic today, good conversation today, because we finally we are getting to some things that they're hard topics.
Yeah.
You know, this ain't a topic that you're just gonna be able to just
Yeah.
have anywhere, but they need to start in the church.
Yeah,
That's
I
where we
agree.
need to start having them at, so that we can be what she said, look up, build in, and reach out. That's where it starts. First, we got to look up, then we got to build in, and then we got to reach out. Amen. If y'all really want to see an exciting service today, you need to tune back in or show up at Rowlett Friendship Baptist Church and watch this young lady that's going to be baptized today. I know you expected something, but you ain't going to be ready for. So we'll see you back in a few minutes at 10 o'clock. Come join us. See you next week. God bless you, and we love you.